Thanks for purchasing this video. It contains all the information you need to have the best control of your dog in any situation. The quality of your dog's life depends not only on the effort you put into working with them, but also the techniques applied. Dog training is not so much a matter of training the dog, but training yourself to understand what it takes to be respected as a leader in your dog's mind. A well-trained dog is one that will be given more freedom, exercise, and affection during its life, because the owners are happy with them and can trust that their dog will respond when absolutely necessary. A properly trained dog will be happier and healthier throughout its life. The best time to train your dog to respond to everything you need is about 3 months old. I have found over the years that a 3-month-old puppy has the ability to comprehend all that we want. But in most cases, people have been fooled into thinking that they can't because they're so young and cute. My black lab Izzy was trained at 9 weeks old, and in 3 weeks he was fully responsive to all commands off leash under full distraction. This was not because he was an especially easy, eager dog to train. He was actually the opposite. He was an incredibly dominant and aggressive dog when he was given a command. He resisted me with a great amount of intensity for the first 4 days. Then he gave in and realized that it was to his benefit to obey. The well-known statement, "You can't teach an old dog new tricks," is false. An old dog thinks the same way a young dog does. The reason this statement has arisen is because an older dog can become stubborn. They have learned that they are the pack leader and are not easily willing to give up position to anyone. This gives the impression that they cannot learn new things, but in fact, it is because they are not willing to learn. When we approach them with this understanding and find ways to make them realize that they're no longer in control, they can be taught all kinds of new things. My methods will instruct you how to harness the dog's will regardless of the age of your dog. When done properly, this does not break the dog's spirit, but enhances it, allowing the dog more time to experience positive thoughts and behavior. Many times when people call me, during the explanation about their dog, they say, "I think he or she is pretty smart." In fact, there are no dumb dogs. Every dog is much smarter than most of us will ever realize. The reason people think that their dog is not very smart isn't because the dog is lacking intelligence, but that the dog does not have respect for the owner as its leader. This is why a person can be calling their dog or instructing it in some way, and the dog seems to be oblivious to them. We must first understand the genetic makeup of our dog. Having knowledge of the way that they have been created to think makes it possible for us to deal with them in a manner that will achieve results. A dog is a pack animal. They naturally want to be in control, some to greater degrees than others. Every dog is an individual. They can all be trained in basically the same manner, but they will need to be dealt with on different levels. Think of a scale of 1 to 10 to examine what is going on in the dog's mind. Let the numbers represent the strength of will of the dog. If a dog walks around in life perceiving itself as a 7, then the dog will only respect any person or dog who presents himself as an 8 or higher. If anyone comes across as less than a 7, the dog will understand them but will not obey them if they don't desire to. To keep order in the pack, the leader will use increasing levels of force to achieve the desired change in behavior from the subordinate. This is where we can see that the momentary discomfort and unhappiness experienced by the weaker dog receiving the discipline does not negatively affect the relationship between the two. Rather, it is the reverse. The weaker dog will now have an established respect for the stronger dog, and at the end of the day, they will all sleep happily together in a big, snuggly group. Harmony has been established. It is very important to remove emotion from training our dog. My training methods are a balance of praise and discipline, and it is necessary to be able to correct our dog without thinking that the dog will dislike us. This will not happen. In fact, the bond between you and your dog will be strengthened when you establish leadership over your dog through the praise and discipline method. We need to focus on the long-term goal of enhancing our dog's freedom, happiness, and health, not the momentary unhappiness when they are being disciplined. I will show you how to build a relationship with your dog that will allow them to love, trust, and respect you, which will have you returning the same to them. Many people bring me dogs and laughingly say that they have spoiled them. It's said in a way that almost seems endearing and cute. The problem is that it's the dog's life we are talking about. A more appropriate statement should be, "I ruined my dog." The statement is no longer cute, and it places the blame on the owner for allowing their dog to become out of control and in many cases a danger to itself and others. The size of the dog that we have does not matter when we consider training. All dogs think in the same way. Whether they're large or small, it's important to have them respect us so that negative behavior does not become prominent. Some of the smallest, cutest dogs I have worked with have been on the highest levels of the will scale, so don't be fooled by size or appearance. There's no magic involved with having a well-behaved dog. The results that you obtain with your dog are dependent upon your ability to practically apply the information contained in this video. The best approach is to watch the tape a few times before attempting to work with your dog. Some techniques look very easy, but become more difficult for the novice once they begin to apply them. Your dog will possibly respond in many ways to make your task more difficult as they try to maintain their pack position. You want to limit the amount of mistakes you're making when dealing with your dog. You are building a language and process with your dog. If your commands and corrections vary too much from day to day, the dog can be confused as to what you expect or find loopholes in your authority and give you a limited response. Everyone in your family will need to watch this tape and be dealing with your dog in the same way. One person cannot choose to be neutral and allow the dog to be disobedient with them. This will only make it harder for those who are doing things properly, because the dog is learning that it can control some humans in the pack, and it will also continue to challenge the others. This means the dog will end up receiving more corrections along the way. If you have someone in the family that is not willing to discipline the dog when necessary, they must be asked not to issue any commands to the dog.